I'm gonna talk to you real quick before I go on my run. During my therapy from 2014 to 2015, my therapist had me do homework, and it was about my family tree. It wasn't about like where they from and who they came from. No, it was about what was passed down to you, Mr. Walker. And first, I didn't want to do it, but I struggled doing it, and I started finding out and talking to my sister that there was a lot of hate and discontent going on in my family with my grandparents, my parents. And so I found out that after studying my grandmother was verbally abusive to my mother and physically abusive to my mother. My uncle, who was bullying me, was verbally abusive to his mother, my grandmother. My grandfather was verbally abusive to my grandmother, his wife. My mother was abusive to my sister. And my uncle that was bullying me, when I started becoming a bully, the first person I bullied was my sister. And so these traits were passed down to me, and I was holding on to them, and I didn't realize it, but I was doing the things that I was taught, the things that I saw, the things that I was aware of, the things that never got help with as a child. I never processed it. So when I got older, I was doing this to all my girlfriends. You know, I was mentally abusive to my wife, and I read in my parents' divorce decree just recently that my father was mentally abusive to my mother. I was mentally abusive because I was ghosting, I was lying, I was cheating, I was being deceiving, I was doing all of those things, and it's mental abuse. You know, I was giving her the silent treatment. I was shunning my wife, doing a lot of things. I was shunning my kids. I was giving my kids the silent treatment. So these things were passed down to me, and so you have to remember that these things are passed down not just because you're a product of your environment, but there's this family issues, this family trauma. They call it intergenerational family violence. It's passed down. You know, the men in my family were put on a pedestal. The men in my family were treated like royalty. The men in my family were treated with respect. The women in my family were not. And so my father's side, you know, my cousins and stuff, and all the adults in my family, we don't talk. We don't say that I love you. We don't get along. You know, we shun each other. We give each other the silent treatment. You know, we do all those things, and it's just been passed down. You have to remember that these are conditions. These are things that are deeply rooted in your family. You can't just go through therapy because you want to get through to your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's not just about them. If you have those issues, you have to realize that it comes from your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather. And you just pass these things down. And you're trying to help somebody that has these issues that hasn't gotten therapy, and their issues go back 50, 80, 90, 100 years, from great-granddad to father to son, from great-grandmother to grandmother to mother to daughter. And it goes back so far, these conditions, you're trying to fix a person that has 100 years of dysfunction. You can't do it. They have to go through therapy to get that awakening, get that clarity, to understand and be willing to change for you to make your life better. So do your family research. All right, y'all have a great day.